we take a look first at the precipitation for the past 14 days, we can see that precip has been much below normal for much of Utah and Nevada. It's been a pretty dry stretch for the southern half of the Great Basin for much of October. Idaho and western Wyoming have received a little bit more precipitation, but still below normal in some areas. This morning's satellite imagery shows a broad area of high pressure off the California coast, leaving the Great Basin with cool, dry, northerly to northwesterly flow in place. And that cool, dry, northerly flow is going to remain in place for the remainder of the work week and even into the weekend. So for this afternoon, we're looking at, again, that cool, dry, northerly flow with some gusty winds there. The ventilation rates are fairly high region-wide. We can see we are expecting some stronger winds in place in that northerly flow, mainly there over southern Idaho and eastern Utah. And the mixing heights are moderate to high for today. Tomorrow, more of the same as expected, still that cool, dry, northerly flow. The ridge does build a little bit more over northern California, and our ventilation rates decrease across the north. We'll see the winds lighten up quite a bit across the northern half of the geographic area, and the mixing heights decrease across the north as well, and that will lead to those lower ventilation rates. On Friday, we'll see the ridge move a little bit closer to the southern Great Basin, and that will allow temperatures to increase a little bit, decrease winds across the southern half of the geographic area, and will also decrease our ventilation rates, especially across the north. So we're expecting light winds for most of the geographic area and generally lower mixing heights. The clearing index for the next 3 days is shown here. Pretty good values are expected across the state of Utah for today, and then decreasing on Thursday, and then pretty low on Friday. The 3-day precip totals are shown here, which we're not expecting really any precipitation for the next couple of days. On Saturday, a low drops into the northern Rockies, possibly bringing some cooler temperatures into the far northern portions of the area. We'll also see an increase in wind speeds, and that will increase our ventilation rates region-wide. Those gusty or northerly winds will continue across the geographic area on Sunday, keeping the ventilation rates elevated. I'm not expecting any precipitation really, but there is, as that low moves into the northern Rockies, we'll see another shot of some cooler temperatures into at least the eastern half of the Great Basin on Sunday. And we'll still see some of those effects from that trough off to the east on Monday, with those cooler temperatures continuing over the northern and eastern half of the Great Basin. But the ridge will start to build into the west coast, possibly with some increasing temperatures there over western Nevada, and decreasing ventilation rates underneath that ridge. And then the ridge looks to expand in size on Tuesday and build in over the Great Basin for decreasing ventilation rates over Idaho, northern Nevada, and even portions of Utah. The precipitation totals for days 4 and 5 are shown here. I'm really not looking for much precipitation, maybe just over the over western Wyoming there as that trough moves into the northern Rockies. The extended forecast for October 30th through November 5th is calling for below normal temperatures region-wide, with below normal chances for precipitation as well. This concludes today's smoke dispersion briefing. Please check back on Friday for the latest updates.